Hi, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to take a look at Sleeping Queens 2, which is a 2 to 5 player game published by Game Right Games. Like Sleeping Queens, you're going to be trying to rescue someone, but in Sleeping Queens, you're trying to rescue the queens, but in Sleeping Queens 2, you're going to be trying to rescue the kings. Now, you're going to be trying to get a specific number of kings rescued to win the game. Let's go ahead down to the table here. I'm going to show you how to play Sleeping Queens 2, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to give you my final thoughts. All right, so this is Sleeping Queens 2, The Rescue. This is a sequel to Sleeping Queens. Other than the art and the IP, this is a very different game from Sleeping Queens. You'll see very quickly. Some of the DNA is still there, but it is a very different game. The queens are awake from their journey back to their castle to resume their quiet, normal, royal lives. But this is not a happily ever after story quite yet. On the way home, the kings landed in some perilous predicaments that require the queen's help. To rescue the queens will need to find rescue companions hiding in the forest. The first player to rescue the number of required kings wins. In a 2-player game, you're going to need to rescue 4 kings. In a 3-player game or a 4-player game, you're going to need to rescue 3 kings. In a 5-player game, you're going to need to rescue 2 kings. Now, setup for this game is very easy. To set up this game, all you're going to need to do is shuffle this main deck here. You're not going to be dealing out any cards to any players. No one starts with any cards. The other thing you're going to do is you're going to place out these companions here face down. And you're going to place out the kings face up. The kings don't matter so much as just tokens of rescuing a king. So the type of king doesn't really matter. You're also going to put the standees on these little stands here and place them out. And you're going to give one to each player. So you can let them pick or you can randomly hand them out. And whichever is left over, you're going to return to the box. The only note is that if you're playing with 2 players, you're not going to be playing with the Black Knight. So everyone's going to have their king. Make sure to let the kids know that they aren't going to really, not king, knight. Make sure to let them know that they don't really hold on to this knight and it will be moving around. So they don't get hurt when that happens. So what are you going to do? Well, on your turn, the one thing you always have to do is roll this die. You're going to roll this die and you're going to draw the number of cards here that it's on here. Now, it could go up to 3. However, if you draw the dragon here, roll the dragon, you're going to pass the knight to the left, and you can wake up a sleeping queen, which we're going to go into in a minute here, that you may have in your play area. Then you're going to re-roll the die. You're going to keep doing this until you get a number and draw those cards. So, when we draw cards, we're going to take a look at the cards that we draw. If we draw a card with a lightning bolt here, there's 2 of them with a lightning bolt, we're going to play that immediately. Otherwise, we're going to put these cards in our hand. So they could be number cards or they can be special cards. Now, we're going to go over immediate cards first. There's 2 immediate cards that we have to worry about. One is going to be the gnome, and then the other one's going to be the sleeping willow. All right, so the way the gnome works is, oh, well, there's also the switch witch too. So there's 3. So this one right here, when we get this, we're going to re-roll the die here, and we're going to do what it says on from the die result. So if we roll a 1 here, take a face down companion, which is going to be very nice. Roll a 2, steal a card. Roll a 3, take a queen from the discard, which is really good. And if we roll the dragon, we're going to swap a knight. Now, the Sleeping Willow will put all of your queens to sleep. And then that's where you turn the cards face down for any queens that you've collected in the game. And then, if none, the next affected player, so if you don't have any queens, the next player who has queens that aren't asleep is going to be affected by this card, and then so on and so forth. If no one's affected at all, or you do have people that get affected, you're going to put this in this card. Same with the gnome after you resolve it. The other one is going to be the switch witch, the dreaded switch witch. So the switch witch here will swap companions, which are these cards right here, and I'll tell you why they're very important in a minute, with another player, or any other card with in another player's hand. So that's going to be really, really cool. So the companions are going to be the biggest thing you're going to probably want to switch, but you can also switch cards. So those are the 3 immediate action cards. There's a couple other cards you're going to run to in this game here. One of them is going to be the spell book here. And then we also have queens that we could pull that I'll show you here. So the spell book is pretty neat because it lets you get a numbered card from the discard pile, of which I'll show you why that's important in a minute. The other thing you're going to run into is going to be these queen cards. So if you get a queen card, you can place this queen in front of you. This queen is awake, and this queen is going to be able to be used to rescue a king with a companion. You're going to really want to pay attention mostly to the symbol that's in the upper left-hand corner for this. So what are the other things that you can do on your turn? So you can play any queens, number cards, and or spell books in front of you. So what I could do here is I could do a math equation. So the first thing I can do here is I could do, and this can be addition, subtraction, it can be multiplication, anything you want to do. If I do an equation here, so 2 plus 8 equals 10, so a simple equation there, I'm going to be able to get a companion. So it needs to be at least 3 cards, and then I can get a companion like this. And I place that in front. What I'm really looking for is the companion symbol here to match the queen symbol. So if I'm able to match the symbol, so let's say I instead got this one, I could then later rescue a king. So that's one of the actions I can take, is do an equation to get a companion. The other thing I can do is discard a numbered pair to wake up all your queens. So if I have 2 6s and I have some sleeping queens, I can wake them all up. In order to do the rescue action, the queen has to be awake. So I can spend a pair to wake up a queen. So that's one of the other actions I could pick. I can discard a spell book to search the discard pile and take a one numbered card. I can rescue a king with a queen and a matching companion. So I could take one or more of these actions. So sorry if it seemed like you could only take one. You can take all these actions. And so if I'm able to, I can discard this, and I will discard the companion face up, and I can rescue a king of my choice, and I can place it in my area. Now that king that I rescue can never be touched or taken, or any game effect can't take that away from that player. So that player permanently has that king. The switch witch can't take it, spellbooks can't take it, nothing can take it. So those are the things, the actions I could do on my turn. I can do those actions as many times as I'm able. The last thing I need to do is make sure that I have 5 cards in my hand at the end of the turn. If I have 5 cards in my hand at the end of the turn, I am good to go. And that's it. We're going to continue on and around in a circle here until someone has met the number of kings that are required for their player count. The game will immediately end, and that person will be the victor. Now, that's going to be how you play Sleeping Queens 2. A couple things I wanted to note real quick are these knight cards. These knight cards are really, really important because they do different things. Like this knight here, if I have it in front of me, protects against the switch witch. Or this knight right here, I could keep up to 6 cards in my hand while I have it. Now, if I lose the knight, I will then have to discard down to 5 at the end of my turn. This one here, draw one more card than the number rolled. That's super helpful. This one here, add or subtract 1 to any number card to complete a math equation. That really helps out a lot. And this one here, protect against the sleeping willows. And the final one here, if you roll a 1, you may re-roll. So those are the knights. They do help out. If they're in front of you during the game, you always have at least one knight in front of you. You can use those abilities. So that's going to be how you play Sleeping Queens to the rescue. Let's go ahead back up the table here, and I'll give you my final thoughts. All right, so that's going to be how you play Sleeping Queens to the rescue. If you like what we do, please like and subscribe. It really helps us out a lot. Helps us bring out more videos for you guys. It helps us get more better equipment and all that fun stuff. But either way, I hope you all have a great day, and thank you for watching. All right, so that was Sleeping Queens 2. Component quality in this is good. Card quality is good. You're going to get a lot of replayability out of the cards before they start wearing, so that's going to be great. Now, overall play for this. Now, it's inevitable that you're going to have to, that I'm going to compare this to Sleeping Queens. I do think Sleeping Queens is a significantly better game. This game here, I feel like they tried too hard to make extra things in here to do or things to think about. I think that took away from a lot of the fun that was in Sleeping Queens. I think Sleeping Queens is overall a better game. So if you're looking for, you love Sleeping Queens and you're looking for something that's a little bit more than Sleeping Queens, technically this is a little more than Sleeping Queens, but I think that the additions sort of detract from the game itself, or the general like good feeling that you had from the original game. Doing the equations can be a little fiddly. There's just a lot of stuff that just doesn't seem to be as fun as Sleeping Queens. Overall, though, it is a fun game. So if you're looking for a fun, light family game that has a little bit of teaching in the math, this is the game for you. But this is my thoughts on it. For me, this game's probably going to be a skip. But either way, if you like what we do, please like and subscribe. It helps us out a lot. It gets us more equipment. It gets us more content out to you guys. But either way, I hope you all have a great day. And thank you for watching.